Hey everyone, we're back again. I am Tim. I work for Golf Cart Garage. There it is, Golf Cart Garage. We come here every Tuesday and Thursday and talk about golf carts. I'm a member of the Gearheads on Demand service that we offer at Golf Cart Garage. If you're interested in scheduling an appointment with me, you can click on the link in the description and that'll take you to the scheduling page, and you can schedule a time that's convenient and we can talk about your golf cart issue. I might be able to help you. I may have seen it before. I owned and operated a golf cart shop for a number of years, so I've seen a lot of issues. Let's see, today is March the 30th. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. Right now we are live on Facebook and YouTube, but here are the other links that you can follow us on. You can follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, everything. Obviously, as you can see, today we're in the actual garage. Sometimes we do this episode from my office. Sometimes from now, we have the ability to do it out here too, in case I need to show anybody something. We're still doing a little testing. So we're doing testing of my internet out here and testing of the lighting and everything else. So it's only going to get better, and there will be some things I can show you out here if I need to demonstrate anything in the future. Eric, what's up, Eric? Had a nice conversation with Eric this past week. It was nice talking to you, Eric. In fact, I may talk about today what your idea was, what you're trying to do. If you don't mind, I may explain it to people what it is you're trying to do. Let's see. William Rizzo. Hello again, Tim from the Florida Keys. What's up, William Rizzo? Glad to have you, man. I appreciate it. Eric said, I just ordered the new set of batteries. All right, cool, Eric. I was going to tell people about your idea with your, what you're trying to accomplish with your solar panel stuff, and I have some information for you on that. We'll get to that. See, Kirk Bauer says, "Wow, now that's what I call a golf cart garage." Yeah, it is. It is the actual garage. This building has just recently been completed, so it's a pretty nice building. Ricky Smith says, "Hey Tim, what's up, Ricky? Glad to have you, man. Appreciate you being here." Let's see. Give everybody a little time to come in. Give everybody some time to join before we move on to the regular scheduled questions. Yeah, I can do a little pan around here, show the rest of the garage a little bit. There's my little EZGO. There's my other EZGO over there, and my motorcycle. I told y'all I like to ride motorcycles. Let's see. Keith says, "Hey Tim, thanks for the info. This is my last show until we go back to Tennessee from Palmetto, Florida." All right, Keith. Cool, man. Easy Mike to you. What's up, Tim? First time live and a cart newbie. Well, I'm glad to have you, Easy Mike. Feel free to join. We talk about all kinds of stuff here. We never know what we're going to get into. Might talk about some lithium, might talk about some speed add-ons, might talk about the weather. We don't know. Where you at, Easy Mike? You tell me what's going on in your weather. Dang, it didn't send me the notification again. Craig. I don't know, Craig. Everybody else said they were getting it, the notification. I don't know what to tell you, man. Brian Harvey on Facebook. What's up, Brian Harvey? Glad to have you, man. Appreciate it. Feel free to ask a question, comment, tell me what's going on in your neck of the woods. Bob Benson got a question on YouTube. What would cause an electric golf cart to lock up the brakes when you ease off of the accelerator pedal? Now, are we talking about an EZGO RXV with an electric brake on the end of the motor? Or are we talking about something else, just a normal golf cart that has brake shoes? Because I would have a different answer if it's an RXV than I would if it's a different kind. Easy Mike's in South Georgia, 78 and sunny. Now that's some good weather. That's some good weather. Craig, did you see that, what Kirk says? He says check some settings on your phone about the notification stuff. William Rizzo, we are heading to the villages in Florida the next week for a couple of months. Also Talladega, Alabama for NASCAR. Cool. That's cool. Yeah, you're going to be all in the South. Let's see. I had to shut YouTube down and restart it. Okay, I will check it, as Greg says. All right. Let's get started on the regular questions, and I'll continue to check over on Facebook as we go here. I am finishing up a 2008 Precedent with a Navitas AC conversion 6-inch lift 23s, new Trojans. It runs great, but the acceleration is very sensitive and more jumpy at slower speeds. What do you suggest? I suggest that Navitas is programmable. You know, I suggest getting in the settings, and you can change your throttle curve. At least that's what it's called in All-Trax. I'm not exactly sure what they call it in the Navitas programming, but it's the throttle curve with an All-Trax programmable controller. So you can change your throttle curve to where it doesn't go up real high so fast. It can be more of a fluid curve. You know, you should see that in the program. Bob Benson says it is not an RXV. Okay, if it's not an RXV and you got brake shoes, just regular brake shoes, and the car is locking up when you ease off of the accelerator pedal, all right, that would tell me that you very possibly could have something loose in your axle, because I have seen cars, like a lot of times when you put a lift kit on a car, you put lift blocks on top of the rear springs, and then the axle goes on top of the lift block, and you remount it. That's how you get your lift, or it goes under it. I might be getting confused there. Anyway, you move your axle to one side of the leaf springs. You actually move your axle below the leaf spring, and there's a block there. And so you've got to loosen up all your U-bolts and everything. Well, after test driving a car, after a fresh lift kit, when you hit the brakes now, you've got taller tires, you've got more leverage on your axle. Every time you hit the brakes, you have a more tendency for that axle to twist as soon as you start hitting the brakes. That can cause your brake cables to stretch a little bit if your axle is moving too much, and that can cause your back tires to lock up sometimes. I've seen it like not necessarily what you're describing, where you're letting off the pedal and they're locking up. That would make me think that they're really loose. So anyway, check your rear end, check your U-bolts on your rear end. Make sure that they're tight. Make sure they're still tight. You could have something loose back there that's causing that axle to twist, and that's locking up your brakes, is what I'm saying. That'd be something you could check out. Let's see. Checking on Facebook, that's cool. That was number one. Let's do number two. Reset the 𝗂𝘶 today, still not charging the batteries. When disconnecting, I have the exact same voltage reading. All right, I understand what you're saying there. No audible sound when the charger is plugged into the charging receptacle. It tries to start the charging cycle 3 times, then the light blinks yellow and no charge occurs. The charger was replaced a year ago, and now I'm thinking it's the 𝗂𝘶. Thoughts? I would be thinking the same thing at this point, if you're sure that charger is working correctly. Now, the easiest way to do that, like I've said before, take that charger, take it somewhere where they got another cart. There's lots of club cars or lots of cars just like yours. Plug it into another cart. If it acts normal, then you know for a fact that you're back at your cart. And it's either going to be your batteries or your 𝗂𝘶. If you're confident on your batteries, there's only one thing left. It's going to be your 𝗂𝘶. Number 3. Bob Benson says, awesome, thank you. I'm just curious, Bob, did you just recently have a lift kit or something installed on the cart? Or is it just all of a sudden started doing this? Because I would be curious to know. What is the best way? I have news, Craig. I have news. I'll get to you in a second. What is the best way to test your battery voltage? When the cart is running, if I test them standing still, would that be the same output when they are running? No, not if we're talking about an electric car. If you test it standing still, your voltage is going to be at its highest point, okay? If you test it while you're driving, the voltage is going to be a little less because there's a load on that battery pack. There's a load on the battery pack. And you start going up a hill, it's going to be even less. Now, if we're talking about a gas cart, it's the opposite. Sitting still, you've got 1 voltage, and as soon as you crank it and you test it, then you're going to have a higher voltage because a gas cart charges that single battery when it's running. Let's see. 𝗲𝘁𝘁𝗶𝘃𝗲 says, wow, my first day with you live and I get the new shop debut. That's correct. You get the new shop debut. This is only the second time that we've broadcast from out here. I did it last week's for 1 episode just for testing, and I'm still doing some testing, but we may end up being permanently out here. I don't know. It may end up being a better deal, but we'll see. I'm right now, I think I've said it before, I'm on the end of a 200-foot internet line that's coming from the line's actually emanating from my office where I normally do this from, and it's 200 feet of Cat 7 that I'm plugged into, and I'm not seeing any degradation of signal. I'm not seeing any problems so far, so this is all a test. Let's see, Craig says swag-a-lag. All right, we haven't talked about that in a while, but I don't want y'all to think that I haven't been bothering them about that, and apparently I have bothered them to the point where we have something on order. Should have some news in the next week or so. Something is on order. Not gonna say exactly what it is, but you'll like it. It's gonna be cool. I mean, don't worry about it. It's gonna be cool. I don't know if we're just going to sell them on golfcartgarage.com or if we're going to give them away on GHOG or these episodes, or a combination of both. Not exactly sure what we're going to do. Those details haven't worked out yet, but at least we got something coming. Let's see. Eric says, woohoo. Yep, Craig's got his clapping. Missy, what's up, Missy? Glad to have you back. Thank you for coming. Keep a belly. Oh, well, Greg, I took care of that with the Cat 7 I ordered. I got direct burial Cat 7. He says, keep a pellet gun, honey, if the squirrels get to chewing on your cord. Well, it's direct burial Cat 7, so it's a pretty dang tough cord. It's about the size of RG cable, actually, and tough as RG cable. And the direct burial, they act like I can bury it directly in the ground. You know, I don't know if I can do that here. I got lots of rocks in my soil here, so I don't know if I'm going to want to do that. But it's kind of hard to deal with. So if a squirrel got a hold of that, he might. I don't know, he might not be a squirrel, it might be a groundhog or something. Let's see. Oh, Missy says we got the dual purpose Dakota lithium, 135 amp hour, 1000 cranking amp starting battery plus deep cycle performance. This battery will replace the OEM battery and will be the main battery. Thank you again for all. Cool, now that's a battery. That's a battery there. That ought to work. You were saying that in your testing, your other one will seem to be working okay, but that would be even better there. Oh, you know, 𝗲𝘂𝗲𝗀 in YouTube. All right, everybody, you see that 𝗲𝘂𝗲? You know who that is? That's my mother. That's my mother. My mother is in a wheelchair right now. She's recovering from an injury, but she's going to be fine. But that is my mother right there. Hi, Tim, Mom. Hello, 𝗲𝘂𝗲. How are you? Glad to have you. Missy, everybody say hi to my mother. That is actually my mother right there, 𝗲𝘂𝗲. Greg Elliott, Tim, you are the swagging master. Eric says, by the way, I saved $80 with your code today with the batteries. Cool, Craig. I appreciate you using it. Yep, that's what it's there for. 80 bucks. 𝗲𝘁𝘁𝗶𝘃𝗲 says, hi, Mom. Hi, Tim's mom. You see all these people saying that, Mom? Abs in there says, William Rizzo, hello, Tim's mom. Hi, 𝗲𝘂𝗲. Yep, that is my mother. Jean Hansen says, hello, Mom. She's doing good. She broke her knee. She's in a wheelchair because she broke her knee, so she's her leg is in a brace and propped up, but she's going to get over it. Physical therapy is visiting her very often, during 2-3 times a week. She's working with physical therapy. She's going to be fine. She says thanks. Missy says your son is awesome. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what she's going to say about that, Missy, but thank you. Thank you for saying that. Let's see. Golf Cart Garage says, good to see you in the chat, Willa. Hope you feel better soon, and thank everyone for jumping in. She needs a golf cart. Well, yeah, she lives in a neighborhood where she could, speed limits are less than 35, so she could ride all around her neighborhood if in a street legal golf cart. I don't know if she wants to do that, though. There I figured that's what she would say, Missy, right there. She said, he really is. Easy Mike, my mom is 89 and waving at all you folks. Well, I'm not gonna say how old my mother is, but I'll let her decide if she wants to say anything about that or not. Let's see, where are we at on regular questions here? We are on number 2. No, we're on number 3. All right, we're on number 3. What is the best way to test your battery voltage when the cart is running? If I test them standing still, would that be the same output? I think we already talked about that. Yeah, if you test it when your cart is sitting still, that's at rest voltage. You test it while it's running, that's going to be under load voltage. And so that's 2 different types of tests, and they give you a little bit of different information on each test. It's depending on what you're wanting to find out. All right, number 4. My club car battery warning light comes on intermittently. It cycles through 10 seconds off to 24 seconds on and back again. It continues this way. Additionally, the cart just doesn't have to go that it's used to. It runs okay after a charge, but the next day it will hardly move. Any ideas? Well, everything that you're describing there, every one of your symptoms sounds like weak batteries to me. It sounds like, weak batteries can cause everything that you just described there. So I would want to know some voltage readings and everything first before we went any further on that. Let's see. Missy says, now that we have the sound system, we want it and the battery to take care of it. My husband is head over heels over our newly purchased Yamaha Drive 2 gas cart with all the things done to it, but has one complaint, the brakes. He has to stand on it for it to stop. So he has searched all over and found is disc brake upgrades for Drive and not for Drive 2. Do you know who makes a kit for it? No, so you have a check. I tell you what, check with Jakes, Jakes, Jakes lift kits. In fact, they have a brake kit that I don't know if it's for Drive 2 right off the top of my head or not, but that's where I would look first, because I have the Jakes hydraulic brake kit on my little EZGO. I had used it at one time, and then I switched it to the mechanicals in the rear. But your cart being so new, you might have to contact Jakes directly to ask someone there. They do have a technical support line. The website is jakesliftkits.com. And but if you decide to buy something, buy it from us, because they're one of our suppliers also. So that's where I would check on that brake situation that you're looking for. Catherine O'Brien Freeman on Facebook says, hello to my favorite mother-in-law. That's Catherine O'Brien Freeman. That's actually my wife there. So she's telling hi to my mother. Let's see. Number 5 is where we're at. What would cause the cart to pull to the right when brakes are applied? Brakes are fine and working properly. Well, when you get your front end, it could be front end out of alignment is what I was getting at. I was trying to think of how I was going to explain that. When you take your car in, your automobile, to the front end alignment shop, or you get new tires on your car and you get a new front end alignment with your new tires, they always test drive your car, and or they should. If they're any good at what they do, they should test drive your car. One of the things that they do on the test drive of an automobile after a front end alignment is they go straight down the road, they let go of the steering wheel, and they stomp your brakes really hard. And what they're looking for is they're looking for it to dart one way or another. And it should just dive and stay straight without you touching the steering wheel. If you're darting, then something was wrong with the front end alignment. That's one of the test things that they do after they align the front end on an automobile. Now, on a golf cart, you know, we're not talking about as much tolerances or as close a tolerances as we need to be on an automobile, because it's a much slower vehicle, but it's the same principle. If you've got some slack in your tie rods, if you've got some, if your front end is out, then yes, it could cause darting to one side or another when you hit the brakes. Let's see. Craig has been trying to give away that electric motor brake for a long time on his RXV. Uneven tire pressure could also cause it. Front end alignment and uneven tire pressure. Easy Mike to you says on YouTube. That could definitely cause it. Yourself someone who looks at you the way Craig looks at carts with no motor brake. I have a 1990 club car, but new batteries in November. This is from Joe, by the way, on YouTube. What's up, Joe? Thank you for being here. I charged the batteries. They are 6 volt. Fully charged, they show 6.5. As soon as I start up a grade, I lose all power. Voltage still high. But Joe, my question would be, have you checked your batteries while you're going up the hill, while you lose power? Check them at that point. Not just after you stop and you check them and the voltage is still high. I need to know if you're checking them while you're losing power. If that's not it, then we might be dealing with something else. 90 club car, is that a controller cart or a resistor cart? That would be my question. I think that may be a resistor cart. And in that case, you could have a broken resistor, between because you got that row of resistors, it's the old-timey speed controller is what it is. You might not be going wide open. So I'd have other questions about that. My mom says, thanks, Catherine, for showing me how to get to this video. Mason's checking in from Minnie. What's up, Mason? Thank you, man. Let's see. Missy says, you searched all of Google, even Jake's. They have it for the drive, non-lifted, and lifted G22, but nothing for drive 2. Maybe I would just ask him and see what he says. I would, because I can tell you this. Jake's used to be an authorized lift kit and brake. There used to be an authorized lift kit manufacturer for Yamaha. So they used to be in real tight with Yamaha. Now, I don't know about their brakes as much as, I don't know if they were authorized with their brakes, but I'd call up Jake's and ask them, see what they say. They may know something, or they may have something in the works. I don't know. They got to keep up with the changes, and the G20 drive 2, that's the latest thing, especially with that independent rear suspension. See, that's going to cause it. That's going to cause a problem probably with brakes too. Let's see. Mr. Egmando. Thanks for being here, Mr. Egmando. I think I'm saying that right. I have a noisy 2012 Yamaha golf cart. The muffler doesn't seem to be leaking out, but I thought of changing it anyway. Do you think it would help? Well, in general, gas golf carts are designed to be really quiet. They're a lot quieter even before the Yamaha Quiet Tech and everything. They're not as loud as a four-wheeler. They're not as loud as side-by-sides, because they're designed to be used on a golf course. So the muffler is a pretty extensive muffler. It's a pretty exaggerated design in order to keep the noise down as much as possible to begin with in stock form. Now, over time, that muffler could deteriorate on the inside, and you could have some baffling or something inside the muffler that is rusted out, and that could be causing it to be a little bit louder. So as far as I know, they don't have anything any quieter than the stock muffler available on the market. So if you feel like that yours is too loud, like compared to another car of the same year, you could have some internal issues with your muffler that you didn't even know about. So replacing it with the stock muffler might, that might quieten it down some. Craig's laughing about the joke. Looks and sounds great in there from Golf Cart Garage. Tim, nice work. Thank you, Golf Cart Garage. I think y'all might be a little bit biased toward me, though. But I appreciate it anyway. Let's see. Where are we at here? Number 6 is where we're at on regular questions. 94 club car with a resistor. Anything I can do to make it go uphill without losing power? Well, this is what I tell people that have those resistor cars. Pretty much the only thing you can do on those, because I wouldn't even upgrade. I wouldn't even recommend upgrading that system with high-speed motors or anything like that, because that's just going to put a bigger strain on that old-timey speed controller full of resistors and the V-Glide. It's going to put a bigger strain on everything. The golf cart is the best thing you can do. Keep your tires aired up. Make sure your tires are aired up. Air them to the max, because that'd be less rolling resistance if they're aired up to the max. Make sure everything is working properly. You know, make sure that there's no broken resistor. Make sure your V-Glide or wiper board is going to the top contact when you press the accelerator pedal. You know, it presses contacts, and each one of those contacts goes through, and when you go to another contact, it causes electricity to go through another resistor, and then another, all the way down to the end. So make sure you're going all the way to the top contact to make sure you're getting your full power and your full top end. And that's really about all you can do, other than, you know, stay up with your batteries. And if you want to yank all that out and do a complete rewire and change to a more modern system, then you can do that. You can still use your rear end, and you can still use your motor unless you went to an IQ system, which would be the most modern of the systems. You'd be skipping a few generations of different systems there if you went from what you have now to all the way to an IQ system. And but you'd be happy with it. You would get better performance. Thanks, Tim. You should make some GCG decals, or even decals of this based on the show. I think we have some decals. We already have some decals, and that's going to be part of the swag too. They say GCG Crew, the decals. I think I have one somewhere. I don't have it with me, but I've got it on one of my hats. We actually have that. I have a hat that says GCG Crew on it, and we have those in decals. So yeah, those are definitely going to be something that we give out also. I would run the decals on my cart and cars. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can get some of those for sure. Let's see. Craig says, smash the thumbs up for our gearhead. His mama is watching. That's right. Thank you, Craig. Yes, she is. I told her that she could. She didn't realize that she could, I guess. But my wife hooked her up with it. Hooked her up where she gets notified, and she's definitely watching. Keith says, have a great weekend. I'll tune in from Nashville next week. Thank you for dropping in, Keith. I appreciate it, man. Let's see. Let's see. That was number 8. Wiper board to the last contact. No, I'm sorry, that was number 6. We've got to do number 7 now. I got it. My 48-volt Precedent is getting hot and smoking at the resistor located on the solenoid. I replaced the solenoid and resistor, and it still burns the resistor. I checked the motor with 12 volts, and the motor works fine. I do not hear a click when turning on the key. My voltage is 49.5. What is your opinion? MCOR-controller. My opinion is that there's a lot of things that could be going on there. Your MCOR could be stuck. It could be stuck on. In other words, it thinks the accelerator pedal is pressed, and therefore every time you turn your key, your car is sitting there in a stalled position because your solenoid is already clicked. It could be welded shut, so it's already clicked and welded shut. That could be it. But it could also be your controller, like what you're talking about, that causing the solenoid to be welded shut. So it's going to be one of those two things, and that might be one of those issues where, I don't know if I've talked about this before, but a club car like that, what year did you tell me it was? So you didn't tell me what year. All right. Well, if it's older than 2014, it's very likely that, or 2013 or 14, somewhere in that range. That's when they quit putting the onboard computer in there. So if it's older than that, that means it's going to have a diagnostic port that you can take it to the club car dealer, and they can plug in their computer. The newer ones may have a diagnostic port too. I didn't think about that. The ones past that, I'll have to check on that. But especially with an onboard computer ones, they all have a diagnostic port, and they can plug their computer in, and they can see what's going on in 5 minutes. And of course, they're going to charge you for that. But if they could isolate it better on being whether it's an MCOR issue or if it's a controller issue, because your cart's been storing a fault code every time that's been happening. You've been getting a fault code. Misty says, do you stay close to your mom, same state? No, we're one state away. My mom, I'm actually from Louisiana. I am from Louisiana. That's where my mom is now. Or that's where she's always been. She's still in Louisiana. I'm one state away. I'm actually in Arkansas. Let's see. Check Facebook. And that's cool. Number 8 is where I'm at. Yep. I have a 92 EZGO golf cart. When we go uphill, it slows way down. We have checked the batteries and they are fine. Less than a year old. What do we do next? What could be the problem? A 92, when we go uphill, it slows way down. We have checked the batteries and they are fine. Less than a year old batteries. What could we do next? What could be the problem? Well, a 92, you know, is not a very powerful car, because 92, I believe, is going to be a resistor car too. That's going to be I think it was 93 that they started putting controllers in there. So yeah, there's not a lot you can do with those electrical systems without putting a big strain on other parts of the electrical system. I mean, yeah, you could bolt up a higher speed motor, but that's just going to put a strain on those resistors, and they're going to end up getting hotter than they normally do. So it's like I said before, the main thing you can do with those is make sure your tire pressure is correct, make sure your V-glide goes to the top contact, make sure there's no brakes in your resistors, make sure you're getting your wide open throttle, and make sure your batteries are good. Now, because you know that's going to be the first thing that I'm going to say, because anytime your car goes weak going uphill, the first thing I think of is testing the batteries. I'd like to know how you tested them in order to come to the conclusion that they were fine. Let's see, Missy says, crawfish is awesome down there. I guess you're talking about Louisiana. Yes, I'm from North Louisiana, but there's a big difference between being from North Louisiana than there is from being from South Louisiana. But crawfish are everywhere. So yeah, you're right. Yeah, good crawfish. So Craig says, so do your neighbors know that you are a worldwide celebrity now? Have you been recognized yet? Autographs. I will be requesting that you sign my swag for sure. So far, I'll tell you, no one has recognized me. No one has recognized me. That has not happened yet. I keep waiting for that to happen. I mean, but so far no one has recognized me. But I do take calls from people who have made comments about how they felt like they were talking to a celebrity. It just makes me laugh every time somebody says that. But they do say that sometimes on the phone calls that I make. There's people that have seen me on the videos and everything. Let's see, number 9. Number 9, 97 club car, DS, 36 volt, was running fine and then went dead. Had a little power, been working on it for 6 months and still same problem. New V-glide, forward and reverse switch, solenoid, and batteries, all load tested good. The resistor springs are all good. Checked all connections. On the jack stand, the motor seems fine until I put it on the ground. It barely moves. Hell. Well, you have replaced pretty much everything, but since that's a 36 volt car, that means that it is a series electrical system and not a shunt wound electrical system. And we've talked about the motor test for that before. I understand the motor runs okay on jack stands, but when you put it on the ground, it's not working. So what I would want you to do is I'd want you to do the motor test. Let's put 12 volts to the motor. So disconnect all your wires off the motor. You got 2 A terminals and 2 S terminals on the motor. Connect 1 A terminal to an S terminal with a battery cable. 1 A terminal to an S terminal, and then you got 2 open terminals. Put 12 volts to the other 2 terminals and see if it runs in both. Switch and go. It should go in reverse. switch your battery cables. They should go into, in forward. Do that test and see if your motor acts weird or does it spin freely. Because if it spins freely in both directions, then you know there's not something wrong with your motor. You can go back to looking at your car and trying to diagnose what's wrong in there. Jen Slinger, what's up, Jen? He says, heck, I've been recognized out on the street as a GSG swag brother. Did you hear what I said earlier, Jen? I finally can say that there has been some progress. Just a quick drive-by to say hey to Tim and all the swag brothers and sissies. Craig says, hey, Jen, swag man. All right, where am I at here? I am on number 9, aren't I? Was that number 9 I just did? Yeah, that was number 9. Yeah, I would also like to ask on number 9, you said that the batteries all tested good. I'd like to know how you determined that, like what load test or what made you determine that the batteries all tested good? Did you do a 6-volt load test on each individual battery, or what did you do? That's what I would want to know there. Number 10. I have a 95 G14 electric golf cart. How can I get more speed from this model? I'm installing a 3-inch lift with 20-inch tires. What is the maximum someone should expect to see on this model? Well, it's it's not a rocket ship, in stock form. Probably somewhere between 12 and 14 miles an hour is what it's going to be in stock form. Now, the fact that you're going to put 20s on it, that's going to speed it up a little bit right there, because stock is an 18. You put 20s on it, that's 1 inch more on bottom and 1 inch more on top, so it's a larger ratio of tire that's rolling using the same gears that are in your rear end. So essentially what you've done is you've changed your gear ratio a little bit by going to 20s. It's a little bit higher gear ratio, so you're going to see some improved ground speed on flat ground just by doing that. All right. Now, is it going to be drastic? No, it's not going to be drastic. All right, and are you going to lose a little bit of power? Yes, but it's not going to be drastic either. Just going from 18s to 20s is not that big a deal. Even 18s to 22s is not that big a deal, but anytime you start to get over 22, I don't like to recommend over 22s without doing other modifications. A lot of people do it because they just ride around on flat ground and it doesn't really hurt anything. Let's see. Missy says, Golf Cart Garage has the best service. I ordered the Magix Nerf step for my drive to, and the package was lost, and Golf Cart Garage sent me a replacement the same day. Best place to buy stuff and learn and even get help with diagnosing. Well, thank you, Missy. I totally agree, though. Now, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the rest of the team at Golf Cart Garage. We have a tremendous team of people that work here. Everybody is top-notch in their field. We have, from our customer service representatives, to myself, to Dave, to everybody. I wish I could name everybody. I wish I could give everybody at Golf Cart Garage a shout out because they all deserve it. It's a really good company that is very focused on customer service. But thank you for saying that. Oh, thanks for reminding me, Eric. Let me talk about what Eric's doing for a second, if we got time. Do we got time? I'm running short on time. I ran long. But I'm going to tell you real quick what Eric is thinking about doing. I spoke with Eric on the phone this past week. He wants to get a solar panel, which a lot of people have talked about that. He wants to get a solar panel on his roof of his golf cart to charge a 12-volt battery. Okay, now we all know that that's available. That technology has been available for years. That's the same technology right there that you use on electric gates. I mean, I had an electric gate on my property over 10 years ago, and it had a small solar panel that would charge a 12-volt deep cycle battery. I didn't have to touch that thing for 5 years, and that's all you can expect. So he obviously was keeping my battery charged. So that technology does work right there. He then wants to put an inverter into the 12-volt battery. He's talking about a big 12-volt battery now, not a small one. He's going to try to get a big one. Then plug it into a large inverter, and then plug his Summit 2 charger into that, which he carries on board on his golf cart. So he's got a solar panel on the roof, 12-volt battery that he's holding somewhere with a large inverter. Summit 2 is plugged into the usable AC power that the inverter is converting from the big 12-volt battery, and that way his cart is charging. Now, he's going to share the results, on how this works. Everything in this working just depends on how big the 12-volt battery is, how much the Summit 2 is going to pull, how long it's going to be able to charge, but it would be interesting to see if you get some type of range extension out of this deal. It's kind of the same deal, how some people talk about how they wanted to haul a gas generator on their golf cart, and then they can just plug their charger into the gas generator. It kind of defeats the purpose when you go that way. But this way is all electricity and sunlight is powering the whole system. So it'll be interesting to see. I do want to see it, Eric, whenever you get some results, so let us know. Oh, and by the way, I did look up solar panels, and if you just plug in golf cart solar panel roof kit, there are some available. And one of the ones that came up was Power Film Solar. You can look for Power Film Solar. They have some very specific solar panels for golf cart roofs. Now, these solar panels are designed to actually do a range extending on the actual golf cart pack. Now, I didn't see any that they had 12 volts. I'm talking 48 volt packs, and 36 volt packs. So depending on how much money you want to spend, you might think about going that way too. Let's see. Tip time. All right. The tip for this week, I've talked about it earlier. Kirk is my tip reminder. He's the gunny sergeant of tip reminding. I talked about it earlier, and it's about the front end alignment. We've talked about front end alignment several times. So the tip for this week is anytime you do a front end alignment, and we've talked about how front end alignment is 1/8 inch toe in. That's the proper front end alignment on a golf cart. After you do a front end alignment, go test drive your car, get on a flat surface, go in a straight line, let go of the steering wheel, and start pressing your brakes and see if your cart darts anywhere. Make sure your tires are all even. Make sure your tire pressure is all even. That's the tip for this week. If it does, then you've got something going out of place as soon as you start hitting the brakes. You might have some slack in that front end somewhere that you didn't notice, or you might have messed up your front end alignment somewhere. You might want to redo it. I always like to go, when I do a front end alignment, I go even. It's easier to go even first than it is 1/8 inch toe in. So try to go even first, dead even, 0 toe in, 0 toe out. Perfectly even in the front of the tires and the rear. And then take the tie rods and just turn them just a little bit, and you'll see the two tires come in. That's when you know you're perfect. 1/8 inch is a very small amount. Let's see. Just like the cameras now with solar panel. I've used those cameras for 6 years straight, no problem. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I tried to install a solar panel on one of my cameras, but it was not compatible. But I know what you're talking about because I recently did that also, and I was hoping for some results like that. But the one I tried just wasn't compatible with my YI cameras. I've got those security cameras, and I tried to hook a solar panel to the one that's battery powered. It lasts. Shoot, the one that's battery powered, it'll last for 3-4 months. If there's not a lot of activity before it needs charging. So it's pretty cool. Missy says, also I like this garage setup so much more. The sound, the lighting, it's all it's missing is some of your toys in the background. Park your cars in the background. It will bring it to life even more. Okay, well, this is only the second time, but yeah, I'll change things up every episode. Every episode that I run out here, I'll have something else, in the background or something else that I might want to show. I remember last time now, I couldn't find my compression tester, so I found it, because I just moved out here. So anyway, this is a compression tester. Anybody with a gas cart needs a compression tester. Really not very expensive. This plugs into the spark plug hole. You turn the cart over, like make it turn over. It's obviously not going to fire because it doesn't have a spark plug in it. Then you read your compression on your compression gauge and see if it's in usable range. Easy Mike says, good call. Cart's in the background. Let's see. Let me check Facebook over here. Looks like I'm good there. All right. Let me remember to follow us on the social media. Oh, Eric, you saw my sign, huh? That open sign needs to be turned on when you open and off when the garage is closed. Now, it would be if it worked. I mean, there's no doubt about it. That's a neon. That's a neon Budweiser sign that somebody gave me, but it doesn't work. I need to get it fixed, because if I got it fixed, if it was working, I'd put it up somewhere. I'd put it up right back there on the wall, so it would do that. That's a pretty cool sign. I've got another one, but it doesn't say open, so I want to get that fixed. So anybody knows about how to fix neon signs, let me know. It's a pretty old sign, so I guess it's the ballast thing that's out on it. I'm not really sure. It's not cracked. It's not damaged or anything, or not physically damaged by looking at it, but it will not come on. And I was hoping that it would. Okay. Now, what about the coupon? Get 5% off on any parts you order. Use coupon code TIM9 at checkout at golfcartgarage.com. This code expires on April the 17th, 2023. So you get 5% off any parts you order. Like Eric said earlier, he saved $80 on some batteries that he ordered, because batteries are expensive. So 5% off, came to $80. So you got till April 17th on this code. golfcartgarage.com at checkout, TIM9. All right. All right. I think that's going to be it for this week, guys and girls. I will see everybody later. Husband is a gearhead. He built car engines, so we have those compression tools. If you have anything gas, you need that tool. You are correct. Yep, that was one of my tips, is that if you have a gas car, then you need a compression tester, because if your car starts smoking, you can answer your question right there. Is there something wrong inside that cylinder? Because if there is, your compression is going to be out of range. Missy says, usually it's the ballast if the light filament is not broken. I don't think anything's broken. It's just, I just cannot get it to come on. And I know there's people that fix them. I just hadn't had time to look into it yet. But yeah, I want to get it fixed. I'd like to get it fixed, because it is an open sign. It does say Budweiser, but it is an open sign. So yeah, the golf cart garage could be open, and it needs an open sign. I agree. Okay, we're good on Facebook. We're good on YouTube. That is going to be about it for this episode, people. I will see everybody later. I want to thank everybody for joining the chat, and my mother. My mother was in the chat. Thank you for coming. I will be back on, this is Thursday. I'll be back on Tuesday with another episode. Easy Mike says, great show, Tim. Thanks for all your help. No problem, Easy Mike. Thank you for showing up, man. Come back anytime, or like and subscribe, and you'll get notified. Unless you're Craig, for some reason he don't get notified. I think YouTube has blocked him or something. There's my mother. Good job. Thanks for all the help. Love the show. Thank you, Missy. I appreciate everybody being here. I will see everybody on Tuesday. Yep, on Tuesday. Try those LED sign places. I will. I'm going to get that fixed, because you're right. That does need to happen. Easy Mike, are you subscribed? You got to subscribe in order to get a notification. Are you subscribed to it? If not, then just come back Tuesday. Everybody says bye to my mother. I'll see everybody later. Golf cart is now closed.